My life has been incredibly blessed, and you know, I really believe it goes back to my roots, my parents, the fact that we never missed a day of school. I never missed a day of school in my life. If the church doors are open, we're there. If the school doors were open, we're there. We had discipline. We understood the work ethic that it took to be successful, because we made a living with our dairy farm and all the crops that we raised. And you know, at the time I thought, well, I can't wait to get away from here, but that made me. Really, it defines my character, but it also defines, you know, who I am every day.
Pat was in my camp for a week, and she won the Best Camper Award. And let me tell you why. She was uniquely gifted. She was hard-nosed. She was passionate. She loved the game. You couldn't run her out of the gym. And after that week, I got a little letter from Pat. I don't know where it is now, but Pat said, "Dear Coach Wiseman, thank you for letting me be in your camp," and all these kinds of things. She actually wanted to come to Belmont, but her brother had been to UT Martin, and she followed him to UT Martin, and the rest is history with her.
I could never have envisioned being a head coach, or, you know, when I took this job, I was planning to be a graduate assistant, got promoted at age 22 immediately, and I just feel very fortunate that I was at the right place at the right time, and I've stayed here a long time.
My first memory of Pat was we used to play pickup basketball in the rec gym at UT, and it would be a bunch of football players. Conrad Holloway played, Larry Sievers played, and in the spring even some of the basketball players. We had some great pickup games, and I'm walking from that gym into the physical education building, and out of there comes some big, strong-looking woman with knee pads on both knees and elbow pads probably, and I fumbled around, and you know, I wasn't about to be the one that invited a girl to come play in a pickup game, but and I don't recall playing any that day, and don't know if she showed up, and never did play against her, but good thing probably, she would have whipped us all.
She raised the bars, not the bar, the bars. She raised the bar in recruiting. It went nationwide. She raised the bar in how a program ought to be promoted, and attendance. Raised the bar in how good a coach you had to be. This wasn't fun and games. This wasn't a tea party anymore. This was a competition. And if you didn't want to be made look really bad, you better show up to play.
You feel like sometimes you live in a fishbowl, but I think that's part of who we are as coaches. I think a lot of people watch every move you make, and you know, it's important to me to represent the University of Tennessee the right way, but you know, I'm just who I am.
Pat had been a product of 6-on-6 basketball growing up, so she knew the whole setup of, for people that don't know, in the old days, 6-on-6, you had three in girls basketball, 3 girls on one side of the midcourt line, 3 on the other side on each team, and never the twain met. She knew her product would be better if she had more recruits nearby who were playing 5-on-5. So she really ruffled a lot of feathers, went to the state legislature, lobbied. Ultimately, the TSSAA changed, and I think it was in 1980 that change was made. This is in answer to Title IX. It certainly improved opportunities for women basketball players, and you know, frankly, it helped Pat because she then was able to recruit more players from Tennessee to the Lady Vols program.
There's some things I'll never compromise on. I am a disciplinarian. I'm not going to compromise on class attendance and making academics a priority. I'm not going to compromise on how hard you work in practice. I mean, you got to bring it every day. If you don't, I'm not happy. When I'm not happy, usually they're not happy.
I think that there were two great challenges every time you played the University of Tennessee. One, you knew you were going to play against talented players because Tennessee recruited talented players. You weren't going to out-talent them. That piece was off the table. Two, you were going to play against a very well-coached basketball team. And part of being a very well-coached basketball team, you're going to play against a team that played extremely hard. So now you're playing against a really talented basketball team who will outplay you. In the 70s and the 80s, Tennessee was known primarily for its defensive abilities. Pat had a knack for getting kids to play extremely hard on the defensive end. Later in her career, I think she became more offensive. The defensive piece wasn't as much a concern for you if you were preparing for Tennessee. You felt more like you had to stop them from scoring.
I don't know what you're going to do, but you better come out of this locker room with a big-time attitude. You with me? Yes, ma'am. You defend.
You know, my parents taught me a long time ago that winning doesn't make you better than anyone else, and losing doesn't make you a bad person. You know, your character is who you are, regardless of whether you succeed or fail.
Pat is probably the most, or as an iconic figure in Tennessee sports as we've ever seen. There's nobody that's overshadowed Pat. She just developed through hard work, through success. As far as her being diagnosed and it being announced, it was the biggest story for months and years, and it still is going on to some extent.
You know, I'm going to keep fighting. That's what I have done and what I want to continue to do. You know, it is said that you are never defeated unless you give up. We're not going to give up.
She's just beloved, and obviously she won championships, she wrote books, did all those kinds of things that people, they feel like that she's one of them, and I think that's the big thing.
Today, it's not about me. It's about everyone out here that loves the University of Tennessee. And we just hope and pray that we can continue to do good things. And for that, I want everybody to know how much I appreciate what's happened here today. And I don't think I'll ever forget it.